Hi, thanks for tuning into this YouTube channel. I'm going to be sharing with you some tricks today to help you get through beginning Greek. I think all of us know that beginning Greek is not easy. Um, and I don't want to say that to scare you, but especially if you haven't been working on a language for a while, some of the concepts are new. So there's some tricks that you can use that'll help you get through. I'm someone who has recently finished beginning Greek myself. I finished back in last May. So it's been less than a year, and so I think I can offer you a unique perspective on that. I think it was C.S. Lewis. In one of his books, he was talking about how sometimes two students getting together can help each other more than sometimes even the teacher can, because they've recently been through the material and it's fresh on their minds. And sometimes the teacher gets so advanced that they talk over the heads of the students. Now, we've got great teachers, and we need those teachers, but I really wanted to offer you this perspective on this. I think we're going to be able to do some of this filming out in a really beautiful place, and so I hope you enjoy this. So I want this to be accessible and usable to kind of a broad array of different people. So whether you're in a college or seminary or university setting, maybe you're learning biblical Greek on your own, or you know, maybe you're using an online program like Master New Testament Greek. Matter of fact, let me know in the comment section below what method are you using to learn beginning Greek, or maybe you haven't started beginning Greek yet. Maybe you're just thinking about it and trying to get your mind prepared. Regardless, let me know in the comment section below, and I'll share these tips with you. Alright, so the first tip I'm going to share with you, you've seen these cards. My tip is, don't get these. The first tip is to embrace the digital revolution. That is, there are so many things that are out there now that's available for learning biblical Greek, that these things, you can just chunk them. You can just throw them away because you don't need them. There are better resources out there now that you can use for your flashcards, that you can use for your parsing. And towards the end of this video, I'm going to kind of have a bonus section where I'm going to link to some of my best digital resources. Okay, we made it back. We're back home. And one of the things I learned is that when the wind is blowing, it's really difficult to film outside if you don't have the right tools. And so I'm still trying to push through and get these videos done. I do have a 1-year-old here, nearly 1-year-old with me, and so I'm a little bit distracted, but we're going to push on. But one of the things I wanted to mention, especially on the first tip, or the first trick, is to embrace the digital revolution. There has been a lot of work that's been done recently, relatively recently, on spaced repetition. And these tools and apps that are out there can help you learn the vocabulary of the New Testament much faster than in previous eras. In fact, there's a quote by Martin Luther, and he was really emphasizing the importance of learning the biblical languages. He thought that this was the key to keeping the church pure, or making it pure. In fact, I think in one of the quotations he said that if we lose the languages, we'll lose the gospel. That's how a premium that Luther put on learning the biblical languages. Well, one of the things that's really interesting, so he's writing in the 1500s, the printing press has just been invented, and he says something to the effect that now that we have so many resources, none of us have any excuse not to learn the biblical languages. It's something to that effect. And the irony of that is, I mean, there's just a few grammars that are coming out in his day. Nowadays, there's so many tools, there's so many things that have gone in to learning the Greek New Testament, and especially in the realm of technology, and especially in terms of parsing and vocabulary acquisition. And I'm going to give you a couple of my favorites that are out there towards the end of this video, but I want to encourage you for right now, trick number one is embrace the digital revolution. So my next tip would be watch different lectures. So there's a lot of free lectures that have been made available now. There's a lot on YouTube. There are people who are doing lectures through Mounce's grammar, through different grammars. And what I would suggest to you is to not use those as a substitute for whatever program you're using right now, but to augment what you're already using. So in other words, what I would do is I would go through the lectures that I had, and I'd watch those, and then I'd do my workbook activities, and then I would go through, before I take a test, I would watch, sometimes at double speed, some YouTube videos of people who were lecturing through. I was using Mounce's grammar. So there's a lot of resources like that, and sometimes when you hear it from somebody else, it's not like it's better information, but just hearing a different explanation of the same thing sometimes can really help you to get a hold of that information. All right, my next tip would be get things that inspire you as you're reading your Greek New Testament. One of the best things you can do, I think, if you're committed to this, is to get a Greek New Testament that you really like, and that's going to inspire you as you look through this and realize that soon you're going to be able to read through this. There's other things that you can get. There's journals. There's one of the things I did is I got an advanced Greek grammar, even though I wasn't ready for it yet. Just having those things and having them in my possession were something that kind of inspired me. But getting a nice Greek New Testament, you don't have to get a leather-bound one right out of the chute, but you can get a nice Greek New Testament. The Tyndales have really nice ones, and I've been doing reviews on different Greek New Testaments. But having something like that you can look at and that just kind of gives you some inspiration to continue your studies. So that would be my next tip. Okay, so we're having fun here. My 1-year-old is still playing frantically here on the floor and making good noises. So this is like the 3rd or 4th clip of this, but I'm just going to keep pushing through. So my 4th tip today, guys, is grit. And what I mean by that is a lot of people think that you really have to be super intelligent. You have to be super smart to get through beginning Greek or Greek at all. And that's not really the truth. What you really need more than just a genius, is you need persistence. You need grit. In other words, when it gets hard, when you get into third declension, when you get into the indicatives, verbal indicatives, what I want to encourage you to do is keep going, keep moving forward. There's going to be times where you're going to feel like giving up. Bill Mounce has really coined this term, and if you've been learning beginning Greek for any time at all, you've heard this term. It's called the fog. The fog is real. You're going to move into the fog and everything's going to feel kind of disorienting. What you need is persistence. You need the persistence to just keep moving forward. And sometimes you're not going to have 100% grasp on every single concept, but keep moving forward. It's important that you don't just, get locked down on one area and stop moving forward. You've got to keep moving forward and have the persistence, the determination to keep that momentum going. So there's a lot of things that we could say about that, but I just want to encourage you because some people aren't, they don't feel that they're really all that intelligent, or maybe they have a inferiority complex about, their abilities. Listen, we acquire languages. Almost every child acquires a language. If a child can do it, you can do it too. You can do this. I want to encourage you that your persistence is more important, really, in some ways, than your intelligence when it comes to acquiring this language. Just keep at it. Just keep pushing. And I want to encourage you that you can do this. So that's it for tip number 4. Okay, tip number 5, and this is one that you might not hear from too many people very often. A lot of people will talk about, why are you learning Greek, and keeping that in the forefront of your mind. I want to take that one step further and encourage you to communicate your why. And there's 2 reasons for this. The first reason is it keeps you accountable. and it helps you to articulate to other people and helps clarify your own understanding of why you're learning Biblical Greek. A friend of mine in the community that I'm involved with recently was sharing why he wanted to learn Biblical Greek, and he likened it to if his wife, spoke another language, he would want to learn that language so that he could better get to know her. And he said, I want to learn Biblical Greek because that's the language my Lord has communicated in, and I want to get to know him better. I thought that was wonderful. And so being able to communicate your why, not just know it, but communicate the reason why you're learning Biblical Greek. And you especially want to do this to the people you're closest to. If you have a spouse, I remember I was communicating this one time to my wife, and I could see the moment where it kind of clicked for her. That's why he's spending so much time in the basement. He's learning this language because the words of the Lord are precious beyond imagination. To think that you could read the very words that God has given us, inspired in the scriptures, that's just mind-blowing. That the very words that have been breathed out by God, you can read them in the original language. That's why I do it. And I would encourage you, share that with your family, because you're going to be spending some time. It's going to take some time to acquire Biblical Greek. And you want to let them know that your time, it's not just, my littlest one, she's right here with me. Okay, this video's real. So that was tip number 5. And I was excited to be able to share these things with you. I've got some bonus content right after this, so stay with me, and I'm going to share that with you right now. Okay, so I told you at the beginning of the video that I was going to share with you some of my top recommendations on the digital world. So as far as vocabulary acquisition, there's Memorize. That's a popular one that's out there. Bible Mesh has put something out in cooperation with Sarago, and also the one that I'm actually using right now is Flashcards Deluxe. Now, I would only recommend Flashcards Deluxe for you if you're doing Master New Testament Greek. It's an online program. It's fantastic. I'm going to link to it down below. These others are great whether you're a Master New Testament Greek or not, but especially the Flashcards Deluxe. It's a little bit clunky. It's a great program once you get it plugged in right. But Flashcards Deluxe, it's great if you're a Master New Testament Greek because all the parameters have been put in, and so that's I couldn't hold it together anymore, guys. She is taking books. You can't see the shelf down below me. She has literally taken like 10 books off of the shelf. Okay, I don't know if we're gonna cut that. As far as the parsing tool, and I'm trying, guys. It's called Parse Greek, and this is a wonderful app to use. It was a game changer for me when I was doing beginning Greek. So so I've got a lot more recommendations. If you guys are interested in hearing some more of these recommendations, I know this might be a little choppy. Trying to figure out how much to put into this. If you're interested in finding out some more recommendations, go ahead and hit the like button or comment down below and let me know that you'd like to see another video like this. Like I said, I've got a perspective of someone who's recently finished beginning Greek, and I think I can offer you some more information if people are interested in that. I don't just want to do it if nobody's interested in it, but leave a comment down below if that's something you're interested in. And so I'm gonna get busy cleaning up all the books that are on the floor now.